Greetings, Glitter Gang. Happy Thursday. It's 9 o'clock at night on Thursday, December 3rd. You're here for Kathryn Scraps Live. I'm Kathryn, and we are going to continue working on the interior of our Halloween folio and tabletop display. So, how's everyone doing? All right, so what I'm going to do, so that you guys know what's a cornfield and what's not a cornfield, is I'm going to pin a comment from Mary saying that she was in the cornfield and now she's not anymore. So if you see a pinned comment in the chat from Mary that she was in a cornfield and she's not anymore, you're not in a cornfield. Okay, greetings to everyone. Hello to Gretchen and to Bev. Good evening to Deb and Melanie. Catherine and Candy are here. Judy was first, maybe? I think the pinned comment might be covering up Gretchen. Carol Joan is here. How are you all doing this evening? Okay, so I'm going to just jump in here. Let me move this mouse. I have Tiny Cat scampering around up here, so you know, she may come jump on the desk. Who knows? We have what we started from this afternoon. So this is an envelope, an accordion pocket, actually. And so this pulls down, and then that opens, and then we have this area to put inserts. I'm also thinking we could put a photo here. If not a photo, maybe a card. Let's look at the cards first. Tiny. Tiny cat. I mean, I kind of like the idea that you would open it and it would say boo. That's kind of fun. I just need to, like, fill in the gap somehow. All right, I'm going to extend it with the eyeballs. Only, I don't think I have enough before I'm going to run into this. So rather than use this strip, I'm just going to get the eyeball paper, because I know I have eyeball paper. The boo also works because of the little ghosties on this page. Actually, we could probably put the little ghosts. No, I don't like them. It's a little too busy. Yeah. It's a little too busy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess I have not used the eyeball paper yet, so I'll have to cut a new sheet. And I've been having a problem with the uploads since, well, it has to do with the new camera, but I didn't notice it while the video card was having its problems because we were doing recording breaks. But the files, the 4K files that are the local recordings from the new camera are too big to upload to box, so I have to like split them up into parts. You may have noticed that from this afternoon's videos being posted to the archives. So I'm going to just try to simplify that process for myself by making recording breaks. Okay, so I'm going to cut a 7 3/4 inch by 4-inch strip of this, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to continue to do recording breaks, and if I don't, then, you know, it's not a big deal. Nothing will get lost. It just means I'll have to spend time editing and rendering video after the show, which I don't love because it takes a long time to render a video. It takes a long time. Long time. So, okay, so that's going to go there. I think it almost needs like some kind of little strip for it to be on. I don't know if it needs like just a black line so it looks like it's sitting on the shelf or what. Would I like it better like here? I don't know. I kind of like it better here. Like it's peeking out, you know? The cats. The cats are just the way that they are. Okay. I think I'm going to put it here. It's cuter there. All right, so then I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper down inside of this. Going to make it 7 3/4 by 9, so it pokes up an inch. I'm actually going to make it 7.5 by 9. And, you know, I'm just going to use, always have some scrap papers sitting around. So 7 3/4 by 9. And the reason that I do this is just because I want something to go down inside the pocket so that it's easier for things to slide in and out. And I said 7 3/4 by 9, but I meant 7.5. Because I don't need it to go all the way edge to edge. All right, so I'm gonna have to gently set this to the side. Now, that time I actually did do it gently. How about that? And then I'm going to tape and ink everything. So with this one, I just tape it at the top and on the 2 sides. Not on the bottom because it's easier to stick it in the pocket if I don't tape it on the bottom. And once it's in the pocket, it's not coming out because it's taped down on the sides. The tape I'm using is Miracle Tape. I don't know if the cats are fighting or if Tiny's just being a punk. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know. So I believe this is part 24 of this series on YouTube. It's been going on for a minute. Decorating. I mean, it did get off to a slow start, and I've had a lot of drama. So there's that. All right, so now I'm going to ink these. And then I'm going to, after I ink them, I'm going to stick these two together. Then we have to decide if we want the eyes to be looking up or down. I guess they're kind of mixed, so it's probably not a decision that we have to make. And then I'm going to stick this down. Now I'm going to eyeball it. You can measure if you want to, or use a centering ruler. It's up to you. And now we're ready to go in the pocket. So let me bring it back. All right. Mr. Lifeguard's listening to some documentary on the history of hip hop, and I can hear the music up here, and I'm like, I really hope that YouTube can't hear the music and I'm not about to get demonetized. All right, so I'm just going to press that liner into place. And that's just going to cover all the joints where the paper meets from when we did the pocket earlier. Okay. Make sure you get it under the accordion. You don't want to seal your accordion shut. Okay. Alrighty, so now we still don't have anything here, but that little boo is cute. Bew. I don't know why I said that like it's spelled B-E-W, but whatever. Oh, eyeball it. Ha ha. Hardy har har. Okay. I think I can do the bats, maybe. I don't love it. I don't hate it either, but I don't love it. I like the spider webs. going to put a 4¼ by 4¼ mat up there, like a square. Not like a square, it is a square. Just trying to think of what I want the background to it to be. This I like. I've used that quite a bit, I know, but I like it, so whatever. Use what you like. Always use your best stuff first, then you always use your best stuff. Crafty advice from Kathryn. Ew. All right, so of these three, I guess it's 4. I probably like the bats thematically the best. They're flying up, almost like they're flying up out of the pocket. They work with this little vignette down here. This is a little plain. This I like, but thematically, I just don't think it works with the rest of what's going on. And this I really love thematically, but I think it's too light. I think it's a little too light for what's going on with this page. So, bats it is. First one I picked, of course, ends up being exactly right. So, why did I keep looking? Why don't I just go with my gut? It's another lesson to you. The one that you liked first is probably fine. So many life lessons today. Seven and 3/4 inch square. Just going through my recycle bin to see if I have a 5.5 inch piece of black cardstock, and I don't. It's fine, I'll just cut it. No, 4.5 inch. 4.5. Let me do a pinwheel so I can get the most out of my sheet. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So to do the 5x7 pinwheel, you put your paper at 5 and you cut up to 5. Then a 5x7 mat falls off. Turn it, put it your paper at 5, cut up to 5. 5x7 mat falls off. Put it at 5, cut all the way up. 2 5x7 mats and 1 2x2 square if you need it for something. All right, one of these I'm going to turn it into a 4.5 inch. Ah! I'm fine, don't worry about it. Four and a half inch square. Gonna just cut an inch off either side of this and then it'll be the right size. All right. I'm going to move this to the floor. One thing for this project, you do need a bigger desk. So you definitely need a bigger desk. This is a dining room table project, you know, the ones where you got to take over the dining room table, spread all out. Because it's a lot. Or a floor project. Well, I'm currently using the floor as overflow, but it's just annoying to keep picking it up and putting it back down, picking it up and putting it back down. But not as annoying as it would be to move all the camera equipment to the dining room, so I'm gonna just let it go. All right. Oh, it's so hot in my office. I have to call Mr. Lifeguard and get him to turn the AC on up here if I can't do it myself. The house is so hot because, or my office is so hot because it's cold in Florida. And so the heat is on. But my office is the only thing upstairs. And it's the hottest part of the house because of that. So it doesn't need, with the lights and all the camera equipment, the computer whirring away, it just does not need any added heat up here. But luckily it has its own unit, so I can probably change it. But for some reason, the thermostat app doesn't like to show me my office sometimes. So okay. Nest. Yeah, see how it just doesn't come up? Oh, offline. This happens all the time. Then I have to call him and be like, hey, can you turn the AC on in my office? So let me do that. I'll be right back. Okay. Yay. Patty says, compliments for being able to rock the nails and actually craft with them. Well, I mean, they are a little bit of a hindrance. I think they're not as much of a hindrance as they could be because I am kind of used to having long nails. You know, I let my own nails grow out quite a bit. So it's not totally, it's not something I'm totally unused to. However, it's harder with acrylics than my own natural nails. I think it's because of how thick they are. That's what I've decided. I'm going to put this up just a little bit. looks straight enough. Well, I got my Christmas masks. So I already have Christmas masks, but no, 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 no. So annoying. It tore anyway. Okay. Fantastic. All right, so while this dries, I'm gonna put a little embellishment there to cover up the little areas where it's messed up. Now there's a couple ways that we could deal with this. One is, and I'm going to try this first. I'm just going to color the paper and see if that makes it look like distressed, like it's just a messed up frame, which it does do, you know. It's good enough. That gray is a little cool, so I'm going to add some brown. Looks a little bit better, just like some little splotches. But I can't, sorry. Wow. Okay, so my windscreen fell off my microphone during all of that, and then I just stepped on it, and I was like, did I step on a cat? Hold on, let me put it back on. I'm back, and I don't know why my windscreen keeps falling off today. That's twice today. All right, so I'm going to cut this out and we'll use that. Yeah, I'm fine. That was just, I just thought I was stepping on a cat or a mouse or something. All right. Gotta put this back on the floor because my life is annoying. So first thing tomorrow, we're getting a fridge delivered. I have had plenty of 2020, but I don't, not to bum you out, but I don't actually know that there's any reason to suspect that 2021 is going to be better. Just like manage, we all need to manage our expectations. So that we're not disappointed. Yeah, January and February are real bummer months anyways. Exactly. Exactly. But we'll have book club, and we'll have our glitter party, and we'll have Scrappy Bowl. So we'll have some stuff for 2020 for sure. That'll be, or for 2021, that'll be fun. Do I think we'll get back to some kind of normal in 2021? Yeah, I mean, I think things will be more normalized in 2021 as vaccines and treatments improve, for sure. So I don't think there's any reason to suspect that this is permanent in the current exact state that it's in. I'm amazed they got an appliance as quickly as they did. They being my landlord. Because the guy was just here, you know, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. What are days anyway? I don't even know. I don't know days anymore. I have, I know I've told you guys about this a little bit before, but I have a job, sort of, that I do for Amazon. I should probably, like, talk less rudely about them, but whatever, probably not going to happen. So, and it is reviewing shows, show concepts they're thinking of making into shows, and then looking at early footage of shows and talking about problems and things like that. Reviewing posters and other marketing materials, music. I worked on, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I got an email from, some of the stuff I can't talk about because I have to sign NDAs. And I just worked on the music for a show I think we're all going to like, and I'm thinking about making the book for the show a book club pick and not having you vote, just saying that this is what we're going to watch because this is what we're going to read because it's a show. And then we can watch the show and talk about it. But I had to sign an NDA before I did the music for that show. So I don't know if I can tell you if that show even exists. But anyway, so I got an email from them today. Recently I got some sort of promotion from them where I was told I would maybe have more direct contact with people working on the shows and might have to travel and things like that. And I was like, okay, whatever. So, but they also said it's COVID, so that you probably won't have to do any of that. And I was like, all right, fine. So I got an email today because I've been about a show I had watched on Amazon. This is just an indication of how much these companies know about all of us. It wasn't something I watched for this job on Amazon. So, like, it was just something that Mr. Lifeguard and I watched. And we didn't like it that much, so we only watched a couple episodes and then we stopped. And so Amazon emailed me about it, and they were like, we were wondering if you would take the time to, you know, let us know what you did and didn't like about it, why you stopped watching it, and, oh, by the way, you know, the purpose of this email is to just, like, let you know that we'll be forwarding your comments directly to the writers of the show, so that they will be able to take it under consideration for possible future seasons of the show. And I was like, well, now that makes me feel weird. I was like, because it's one thing to watch a show that's in production and to, like, make comments about it as part of a focus group. Like, I was like, I obviously knew that my comments were being seen by people who worked on the productions, but I just assumed it was, like, in aggregate, kind of like as part of some kind of summary you know, like the idea of directly writing to a writer and being like, your show sucks. So it's like, sorry about it, especially because I know who the writers of the show are. So it, like, not personally, I don't know them, but it's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who are, you know, if you're familiar with the Cornetto trilogy, which is like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and At the World's End, you know. And so I was like imagining myself writing an email to them like, look, big fan, but this one was a miss. Here's why. Like, Amazon knew I watched and knew I stopped. And I think Amazon also knows that I engage with their content, like as in the Cornetto trilogy. Like, we watch Hot Fuzz a lot. Mr. Lifeguard loves Hot Fuzz. I enjoy it. So, like, they know that we like this kind of content, but we didn't like this show. Like, they could tell. Like, that's how advanced they're getting, is what I'm trying to say. Ultimately, this is a really long-winded way of saying this is how advanced they're getting with their data collection and analysis, you know, which is that they're like, well, this how they normally like stuff by these guys. They didn't like this stuff, and we should figure out why. Thank you, Letitia. I'm sorry that your nails don't look beautimous. All right, so I'm going to take a pen. I am doing that. That's true. That's true. Forget filling out the Nielsen's rating booklet. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, well, and it's funny because I always write a lot when, how do they know what I like and don't like? I think that they can make judgment calls about what you like and don't like based on how and when you quit a series, and based on how you normally watch a series. You would love to tell writers what you think of their shows. I'm pretty brutal. I can tell you what some of the shows that are my shows are. Not my shows, like mine to review, you know, because they're the ones that are out already. The Boys, man, I am savage about The Boys, like just savage. It's just horrible. Like the stuff I write. It's savage, absolutely savage. And then what's another one I had that I was just like me? Oh, what's the one with the Terry Pratchett book with the angel and the demon? Good Omens. That's one. That was nice of you, Letitia, because it's probably tough for nail people right now. That was another one. What's another? Tin Star. I saw that one a long time before it came out. That's some Canadian logging or oil thing. Some Top Gear thing where they're traveling around the world on some kind of race. I've done a bunch. The Boys is crazy. Well, all the people who watch Supernatural are gonna have to get caught up on The Boys, because Jensen Ackles is joining it next year, 2021. You hate watching the commercials for The Boys? Yeah, Mr. Lifeguard when we watched, we had to watch the first part of season 2 and do like a And they pay for this. Like, this isn't something I do for free. But we had to watch the first like 3 episodes of season 2 and comment on it. Specifically from the perspective of people who hadn't watched The Boys, which they knew, you know. They knew we hadn't. All right, so I'm going to just stick this down here to cover up my boo-boos. I figure here's my big problem with The Boys. It's like, I don't have a lot of patience for this thing that showrunners sometimes do, and it's pretty common on HBO and Showtime. But I also see it. You see it on Netflix and Amazon as well, where it's like, oh, we don't have to. There's, you know, we're basically like premium cable. You know, there's no rules. We can do whatever we want. Like, you know, we don't have to worry about like advertising and this and that and the other. And so they're like, they push envelopes just because they do things just because they can. And it's like, it's not always just narratively that you should have, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So I sometimes when I get that vibe, and it feels very immature to me, when I get that vibe. And The Boys is so immature. It just seems so immature to me. Like, sometimes I just laugh at it because it's so stupid. And I don't think I'm meant to be laughing at that part. You know what I mean? And I say immature, like, as in, you know, just the themes and the writing and all of it seems immature to me. Like something like a 12-year-old writing fan fiction would come up with. And not something that, like, adults. Oh, I think The Boys is supposed to be funny. But it is supposed to be satirical. For sure. But there are things I laugh at that I actually don't think I'm supposed to laugh at. All right. There we go. Fixed it. Because the show has technically very serious subject matter. But I just can't take anything seriously when I'm watching it. Which, the show is not for me, and I think they know that. Like, I think a lot of the shows that I get asked about are shows they know aren't going to be for me. Because they know what I like. You know what I mean? It's not like Amazon doesn't know what I like to watch, and it's not a surprise that I don't like anything that they show me. Well, it's not that I don't like anything, but I don't like most. I don't like most of it. And there's tons of Amazon shows I like, you know, but those never end up on my list somehow. So, all right. Now I got that down. So we just need to do here. And then we'll do a recording break, and we'll do what will we do? We'll do a recording break, and then we'll do the inserts on a separate recording. Yeah, well, a lot of the questions are about, like, if we changed this on this scale of 1 to 10, like, how would that change how you feel? You know what I mean? So I think that, like, you know, they do have the ability, because they do have such, like, people that they can ask, because they have created this focus group over the course of these years, that if they want a bigger, wider audience, you know, they can ask what might help them achieve that, you know. All right, so now we need to put something here. And they might decide that, you know, not every show needs to appeal to everyone, and they don't need to. Yeah, like it's not helpful to, I don't see how it's helpful to them if I just give something all 10s down the line and say I absolutely loved it, don't change anything. You know, like I don't know how useful that information is, I guess. And so I think that is why that I tend to see stuff, I tend to get asked about stuff that I think that they know that I don't enjoy. Or I do get also shows where it's like, you know, there's a possibility I might have enjoyed it. Like maybe, like I also get a lot of shows that where, you know, like when they, because sometimes all you get is a concept, right? They're like, they just have like a storyboard. They don't even have anything picked out, no actors, you know, just the vaguest plot details. And then they want to know like, okay, so if the show was like this, how likely would you be to watch it? If the show was like this, how likely would you be to watch it? You see that type of stuff a lot too. But like I was intrigued by the premise of The Boys because I think the premise of The Boys, which is that if people had that kind of power, I don't think it's really likely that they would be mostly good with a few villains, right? Because we see what people do with power. Just we know what people do with it. You know that quote, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's from the 4th century. So, you know, it's not a new concept. How did I stumble across this? I was invited. So they emailed me and invited me years ago. I've been doing it for a long time. They do pay you. Yes, you do make money. It's not for free. I mean, it couldn't be your full-time job, but, you know, it's definitely not like a waste of time, I guess. No, that's too orange. Definitely don't want anything that's all orange. That's really interesting, Cindy. I mean, if nothing else, it's been interesting to see like how a TV show comes, like just on a very minor level, like the different steps towards becoming a show, and at what different points they ask for input. Like sometimes it's just, which of these posters do you like best? And like I remember like Jean-Claude Van Johnson, that show, the only thing that I was at all involved with in that one was giving input on posters. And they use different posters for different things. So like sometimes like Amazon will have the poster will be like, they'll have one poster that they use on like the front page of the Prime Video, and then they'll have another poster they use like deeper in the website, and they'll use different posters in different regions because they're like, they know what that's how detailed it is. Like they know what posters work best in what circumstances with what people. So they have like, they're not just picking one poster for one thing. Like they have a variety of stuff. It's really interesting how much we're engineered, I guess. I just don't know what I want to do above the shelf. I just don't know. Oh, Frito-Lay would be interesting too, because you would be like testing out new chips and stuff, right? Well, not just chips. They make a ton of stuff, but snacks. Sneaky snacks. Yeah, we may have to do a Franken paper. What about the witches? I haven't done. That's a little too busy. No, that's a little too. Yeah, Snackalicious plus money. It is a win-win. Maybe I need my little ghosts, my little webs. You know what I could do is I could print this 7 3/4 so I wouldn't have to cut the border off and it would have a border all the way around. So we could do that really easily, actually. That would be easy. Easy peasy. All right. Yeah, so it is like it is interesting, but it's also work, and you don't have to do anything. So it's always like if there's an assignment that you're offered that you're not interested in, you don't have to do it. Like you just wouldn't get whatever the reward for doing it would be. And then of course they always have a little line in there that's like, if you don't do it, it might affect how often you're invited to do things, you know. But you don't have to do anything. So if you're just like, oh, I would hate that, and I know I would hate that, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay. All right, so here we are in Photoshop. Here's the paper. And so I'm just going to go to Image, Resize, and then instead of being 12 inches, I'm just going to do 7.75 and hit OK. And then I can drag it onto one of my 13 by 19 sheets and drop it in the corner. And I don't want to save it all tiny. Then I can print this. And that's all you have to do. I mean, then you have to go into your settings and change your settings. So I just always go to advanced settings where I have a saved preset for how I like everything. And then I can just press print. And I always get this warning to check my ink levels. Who knows why they think I can't manage my ink situation, but they don't. I guess because on the continuous ink systems, it's hard for the printer to know when it's out of ink. Like, I don't think the printer knows when it's out of ink, so. I think that's the issue. So that's why I get reminded every single time. But somebody asked me about the Queen's Gambit. I haven't seen it yet. I do want to, though. That's on my list to watch. Right now, we're working our way through Billions, which is a Showtime show. And we got 3 months of Showtime for like $3 or for like 99 cents a month for 3 months. And so we're just watching, so we've been watching a lot of Showtime. But what I like about Billions is that like everyone is bad, but no one is totally bad, I guess. Like, in other words, it's about the people at the SEC and at the Justice Department who investigate financial crimes, like, you know, hedge fund managers who, so you see this. This is from the new Photoshop. So like everything I printed when I had my previous version of Photoshop is now the colors are handled are different in the new Photoshop. And I don't know why. So, oh, Billions gets weird. We're still in season 1. I think we just finished season 1 actually. So I don't want to, everyone is out for, yeah, everyone just, like the people who work for the SEC and the Justice Department just want to get like famous and get promoted so that they can, you know, get elected. Like they only care, that's the type of stuff they care about, you know? And that's just, yeah, that's what they care about, you know? So they're not portrayed as these like, you know, amazing, like heroes saving the world. And the hedge fund people are also not all like mustache twirling, like psychopaths, you know? So it's interesting. I mean, everybody sucks though. Like it's not like, but no one seems to really suck 100%, like 110%. It still looks pretty cute though. Right there. That looks cute. You can match the colors from the old Photoshop to the new version. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Luckily, I think this is the last. Luckily, I have not printed the paper for the next project yet, so I won't have this problem because I can just print it all out of the new Photoshop and not have to worry about it. All right, so now the question is, what are we going to put up here? And I was going to put a photo mat, but now I'm wondering if maybe we should put like some kind of card. So let's look at the cards. And what I might do is I might cut this moon out and put it like right there. Is he liking it? My sister kind of liked it, I think. It's okay. Yeah, I don't think she thought it was amazing. But I don't think she thought it was bad. All right. So the two that I thought of are this one. Because see how the little ghosts are showing through it? Like I would cut the ghosts off. I would cut it so that it just looks like it's taped to this piece. And that would call on the ghosts from this page. But if I cut out this witch's moon and put it on right here, that could look cool. It's watchable. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been watching a lot lately, so I don't know if kind of, I've been just so busy with everything that's been going on. So the problem with the witch moon is it blends in too much, I think. So I don't know that I like it, but now we have a witch moon, you know. So let's do, yeah, I mean, maybe it needs a black border. I'm going to just kind of quickly cut out the ghosts. I'm getting very little enthusiasm from the group about Virgin River. So I think I'll just pass. I think I'll just pass. So I kind of like how this looks, but part of my brain is like, what's it taped to? The sky? I guess it could be stuck in the web. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense, but I like it better than the witch moon. I like it better than the witch moon, so all right, I think I'm gonna go with this. Just gonna, just gonna tell myself that not everything has to make sense all the time. You know? Not everything has to make sense all the time. All right. So let's go ahead and ink and stick everything down. So I'm gonna just move this to make it a little easier to get everything inked and taped and all that. And then we'll do a recording break. For those of you watching live, nothing changes for you. But that'll be the end of this episode, I guess. And then we'll work on the inserts in the next part, which is also going to be tonight. It's just, we're going to do a break in between so I don't have to try and find a place where I took a breath and finished a thought, because there aren't a lot of those in the chats. Like this afternoon, I was like, oh my gosh, are you ever going to shut up? So all right. Yeah. What I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to put the 1/2 inch tape all the way around the edges, you know, like I would with anything. And then I'm going to just put 1/4 inch tape on the tabs. So there's tape on those tabs. So Gretchen said it's always sad when a show starts out good in the first season and goes downhill because they didn't think ahead. Yeah. I don't, you know, I wouldn't know how you plan for certain things. Like, you know, what do you do with it about a show like Grey's Anatomy that went on forever and ever and ever? Even if you had a solid plan for 6 seasons and a movie, then what are you gonna do if you get, you know, 10 seasons? Like, it's like, well, now we're out of material. We thought we did it, but Gretchen says, I had so many things I wanted to say in the chat watching this afternoon's class, but I wasn't live. Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah, well, it's so funny because my sister and I used to make fun of Lost all the time because I was like, there's no way J.J. Abrams, like, has a plan for how to end this, you know, when they have to have more continuity experts on Lost than any show ever has had. Like, no show has ever had as many continuity experts as Lost. Like, that's how complicated the plot got. And they had to have like lore masters or whatever. So it was like, how are you going to tie all that together? Like, there's just no way, you know. So I used to say stuff like he's just gonna like fake a car accident and pretend he has amnesia and he can't finish the show. It's just like, that's how it's gonna go down. He'll be just like a character on Lost. So. Now, I don't know if they ever did wrap up Lost in a satisfactory way. But I think there's also a lot of shows that go on for a really long time and have really dedicated fan bases. It's harder to wrap them up in a satisfactory way, in a way that's going to make everyone happy. And then there are the zombie shows, the shows that it's like, now shows can come back from the dead because of streaming. You know, like if shows do really well on a streaming service, you know, Netflix and Amazon, and they have money to invest. So sometimes shows can be done for a few years and then come back because they're not actually done. They're not like done. I literally just had on my Google feed yesterday something about how they're still in talks to do a season 4 of Hannibal. And I was like, really? Like, that show's got to have been off the air for like at least 5 years at this point. I can't. Like, but apparently as soon as they put it on Netflix, it skyrocketed to like their top 10 immediately and stayed there. So now Netflix is thinking about a 4th season. Lost got so convoluted it was impossible to follow. Interesting. I remember just trying to talk to my brother about it, and it was like I couldn't even follow someone trying to summarize it for me. So, okay. So that's the decor. And now in the next video, I'm going to do inserts. So we're going to make some photo inserts. Yes, they are making a new Dexter. Yes. Dexter ended poorly, I thought. So I don't know where they're going to go from there. All right. So I'm going to do a recording break here. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. The next video will be in the playlist once it goes live. And I will be right back for those of you who are watching live, and we will continue with the inserts that are going to go in this accordion pocket.